Well, my view is that this is only the barest beginning. The planet is still getting hotter. It will keep getting hotter as long as we burn fossil fuels. These kinds of disasters will get much, much worse. So yes, we have to take measures now, but at some level, eventually, this is going to, what all these suggestions will be completely overwhelmed by how hot the planet gets. We're at only about, 1.5 degrees now. What it's going to be like when it's 2 degrees or 2.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels, it's going to be a nightmare that we can barely imagine right now. So these kinds of little adaptations, we need to do them, but it's going to be a little bit like trying to stop a huge wildfire like this with a garden hose. At some point, it's just not going to work at all. So we have to address the root cause, which is fossil fuels, as quickly as we can for our survival. We're going to have impacts that we can't even really predict right now. They're going to be synergistic, things hitting at the same time, impacts to our food system, heat waves that kill millions of people in a matter of few days. And I want to make the point that the fossil fuel industry in the 70s saw this coming with uncanny accuracy. They chose to spread disinformation and block action when they could have chosen to alert world leaders and work with us to transition. That's the choice I would have made. It's just the biggest moral failure, I think, in human history.
Peter, the Republicans blaming Democrat mismanagement, whether that's failure to clear the brush, the empty reservoir, the low pressure in the fire hydrants. The Democrats saying this is climate change, it's a horror, and we've got to deal with it. How do we find any political way forward here?
Maybe there could have been somewhat better management. I don't think it would have made a lot of difference. I think this is a red herring. It's a distraction by the Republicans. It's political blame shifting. We have a problem on the planet. The planet is overheating. It's gotten to an emergency level. We have to start working together. And I think it is really important to get angry because the public right now is quite unfocused. They're confused. They're afraid. A lot of people don't realize that global heating is caused by fossil fuels. A lot of people think recycling will solve this. A lot of people don't know that the fossil fuel industry has been lying for decades, and there's powerful interests that want to block action. The only way to get those powerful interests to change is if the public pushes for that change. And I think anger is one way to get the public to push coherently.
Just final word from both of you. Peter, do you have any hope for the future?
Well, producing electricity from solar is now by far the cheapest way to produce electricity. And I think we have the solutions. We just have basically this very wealthy class which continues to profit from fossil fuels and is blocking the implementation of these solutions. So yes, we will not transition away from fossil fuels overnight, but there's a ton that we could be doing right now to transition that we aren't doing. We've got to stop beating around the bush. Yes, we may end up geoengineering, but it's a horrifying thought to me. We could have catastrophic termination shock in that scenario. It's like, why is it so hard to actually look at this directly and say it's caused by fossil fuels? We have to work together to end fossil fuels.
Dr. Peter Kalmus, Dr. Varun Sivaram, thank you both very much for joining us.